Hello, Thomas fans. This is Will Bodie back to your screens. And since Valentine's Day is around the corner, I shall read to you Thomas and Friends, Thomas in Town, Valentine's Day in Vicarstown. Hope you enjoy it. It was a cold, clear February morning, and Percy was tired. He had worked hard all night to deliver the mail and was ready to rest in the shed. Thomas was just leaving as Percy chugged into the yard. "Hello, Percy," he peeped. "I hope you had a good night with the mail run." "It was cold," replied Percy, "but I was—" "Sorry, Percy, but I must go," interrupted Thomas. "I am supposed to be working at the docks for a couple of days. Will you tell me about it at the Valentine's Day party?" Beep, beep. Percy rolled up to Edward. "Edward, I forgot about the Valentine's Day party. What happens there?" Percy asked. Edward smiled. "Every Valentine's Day, there is a big party at the station in Vicarstown. The children come and exchange Valentine cards and sing songs. Sometimes they give Valentines to their favorite engines." Percy hoped he would get some Valentines. All day, Percy asked the other engines about the Valentine's Day party. "Last year," said James, "I received 12 Valentines." "Bah! I am too important to think about Valentines," rumbled Gordon. The next morning, Percy was heading home from the mail run. It was very dark and windy, and he noticed that it wasn't getting lighter. Where was the sun? The clouds were dark, and snow was starting to fall. It began as a light snow, but the wind blew harder and harder, and the snow came down faster and faster. Percy could barely see where he was going. The snow drifted across the tracks, and it was very hard to move. He had to get back to the yard. After a long time, Percy finally made it. The larger engines that had snowplows had been sent out to try to keep the tracks clear, but Percy stayed in the shed and watched the snow continue to fall, and fall, and fall. The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt came to the yard. He was so bundled up he could barely move. "Percy, Thomas is snowed in at Brendam. Everyone is going to have to be extra really useful. Maybe Thomas's snowplow will fit you." The next few days were very busy. Percy struggled with Thomas's snowplow, which was a little too big, but he still managed to clear most of the branch line all by himself. He helped Terence clear snow from the yard, and at night he still had to deliver the mail. Before he knew it, it was time to go to Vicarstown for the big Valentine's Day party. Vicarstown is a large town on the east coast of Sodor. The station is big, and there are many platforms. Percy hoped that the tracks were clear enough for Thomas to get there. The station had been decorated with hearts and red streamers, and at the front of each platform was a little mailbox. "More mail?" asked Percy. "Am I going to have to miss the party?" His driver laughed. "No, Percy. Those are boxes for Valentines." The party started to get crowded. Lots of children ran up to say hello to Percy. He was very nice to meet them, but he was still looking for Thomas. He saw Edward arrive, and then Emily. He saw children exchanging Valentine cards and laughing and having a wonderful time. He even saw some children putting small envelopes into his Valentine mailbox. And then the crowd got suddenly quiet. Sir Topham Hatt made an announcement. "Thank you for coming to this splendid party. And to my engines, you are all my really useful Valentines. For your hard work cleaning up after the blizzard, each of you will get a hopper full of high-grade coal," he promised, "and a good washing at the works as soon as it warms up." Everyone cheered and applauded. Then some of the children got together and sang songs. After the singing, everyone exchanged Valentine cards, and the children received fruits and chocolate hearts and other Valentine treats. At long last, Thomas pulled up next to Percy. The children crowded around Thomas and Percy, smiling and showing the engines all their Valentine cards. They continued Thomas's Valentines. Thomas had 20. Then they started counting Percy's. 18, 19, 20, 21, the most of all, peeped Percy. "That last one was from me," said Sir Topham Hatt. "You have made yourself extra useful this week." He continued, "Percy has gotten pretty handy with your snowplow, Thomas." "He can have it," laughed Thomas. "Less plowing for me." Percy smiled. He was glad to have a best friend like Thomas. Well, I hope you enjoyed this reading video. I'll be back to make more videos. And just in case, happy Valentine's Day. Goodbye.